played well on the right, he's played well on the left.
He actually makes me smile just thinking about the goals he's going to score.
What a brilliant signing.
5 minutes of ecstasy. It's pure
Lots
ecstasy.
of speculation that he might be up for
Well,
sale.
Manchester United
I
could
don't
only
want
have
to
a
see
player
that.
like
Probably the best striker in the Premiership.
It's a wonderful
with all
feeling,
play.
those sort of games.
Mediocre.
What a brilliant signing.
You've got so many midfield players, but you know the difference.
He was
As David Beckham signs for Real Madrid with the world's media watching on, United make their first signing in 20-year-old French star David Bellion, tipped to be the next Thierry Henry. Bellion says the move is a dream come true, and his arrival should signal the start of a busy few weeks in the transfer market for United. Hello and welcome to this Talk of the Devil special. David Bellion's already here. Eric Djemba is expected tomorrow, and we've got Luigi Macari in the studio tonight. Lou, thanks very much for being here. Calls and emails, of course, on anything that's been going on with David leaving. He said in his world exclusive on MUTV earlier that he's got to move on, and United have to move on, and that's exactly where it starts from now, doesn't it, Lou?
I think all the supporters now, Steve, are more interested in who's coming in. You know, with a David Bellion, there's Djemba supposedly arriving tomorrow.
Yeah.
and who's going to follow in after that? You know, because the season, what, a couple of months away, they're thinking ahead now.
There's reports as well, and everyone waiting on this one. No disrespect to the names we've just mentioned, but people are waiting for, can we say, David's replacement, and Peter Kenyon apparently is reportedly in Paris again, trying to tie up the Ronaldinho move.
Yeah, well, that I can understand now why it's taken a while, because if the reports are right, 31 million, Steve, it's going to take a long time.
Well, they've upped the ante, haven't they?
Well, it's not going to happen at 31 million.
No.
I mean, this is a player who's a Brazilian international who's ended up in Paris playing for a mediocre side, and you've got to say to yourself, well, why did he end up there? Why did that happen in the first place? Why did he end up there? Obviously, there wasn't great demand for him. If you're after somebody who was never in great demand,
well, how much have you
heard of him? Well, I hadn't.
Before the World Cup?
No, I hadn't, to be honest with you. And then, you know, when he ends up at Paris, you say to yourself, well, there couldn't have been many takers for him, so he's taken whatever opportunity he could to end up in Europe. And now, I mean, it's ludicrous. If they are asking for 31 million...
He looks good in the adverts.
Well, the adverts don't count, it's what you do in the pitch.
Absolutely. It's phenomenal, though, the last few days for David Beckham, isn't it?
Well, I don't think we'll ever see the likes of it again. You know, it'll never happen again. No one's made such an impact in moving from one club to another as David. I mean, the word is that when Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid, there wasn't half the hullabaloo that there's been with David Beckham going there. And
this really is a sort of worldwide thing, isn't it?
It is a worldwide thing in America. I mean, in America, football doesn't get a mention. But David's been on the sports programmes in America, and he's now just got to produce on the pitch, Steve. It's all right doing all this. Sure. This is the grand tour you're on and waving to everybody. But you've got to do it on the pitch, and there's a lot expected of him in Madrid, a lot.
OK, well, our very own Steve Bauer, of course, spoke to David in his World Exclusive. This is what David had to say about what the last few months have been like.
Pretty much how the last 10 years have been for me, really. You know, up and down, roller coaster ride, and you know, it has been a busy last 2 months, really. Something I've not expected to go on, but you know, it has, and you know, it's part of my life now.
Is your head clear yet after what's gone on in the last 3 or 4 weeks?
It probably won't be clear till I meet up with the rest of the lads and you know, get back training and you know, and meet the people in Madrid.
Is that when it'll hit home that you're not a Manchester United player anymore?
It's starting to hit me now, you know, since I've arrived in Madrid. And obviously seen pictures mocked up of me with the Madrid kit on. You know, it's starting to sort of hit me now, but I suppose it won't really hit me until probably I see, you know, walking out at the Bernabeu with a kit on. That's when it'll first hit me.
I know you have to move on in football, but is there still a mix of emotion in there?
Definitely. You know, I spent 13, 14 years at Manchester United, always been a United supporter. Will always follow Man United because that's the team I support, as well as Madrid now. But you know, for me, you know, it's been a massive part of my life, and always will remain a big part of my life. you know, life goes on, and I have to move on as well as Manchester United will move on, because the players are, it's a bunch of great players, and you know, to be part of them for 13 years and to grow up with, you know, Nicky, you know, Scholesy, Ryan, Gary, Phil, you know, to grow up with them has been a great pleasure and a great honour. You know, they'll always be friends to me, and so will the rest of the players. But you know, they'll move on as well as I have to.
There you have it, David. You can see that exclusive farewell to the fans again at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock this evening. It's obviously been a bit of a wrench, hasn't it? I mean, for David, leaving what was necessarily his sporting family.
Well, things develop in football, Stephen. Sometimes things run away from you, and I still believe David Beckham wanted to end his career here. But something's gone wrong somewhere along the way. And of course now, as he said, he's a Real Madrid player, and he's got to think about Real Madrid. But 13 years he's been here. You know, starts off as a kid. Long time, and I was here 11 years, and when I get kicked out the door, you got it. I mean, you don't want to go. Yeah. But in my case, my time was up. You know, I was finished. But in David's case, a lot of football still to be played as far as he's concerned, and without a shadow of a doubt, all the money goes with it. It's fantastic. Everything that goes with it's great. Real Madrid's fantastic, but I think he would have preferred to end his career here.
Okay, I've got an email here. This is from Paddy in Dublin. Stephen Lou, if the transfer rumours are true and such stars as Ronaldinho and Harry Kewell could come to United, the departure of David Beckham should not be a significant loss. Already players like Bellion and Jemba have joined and are ready to take his place. But of course, it's all still up in the air, isn't it, with the bigger names?
Well, David Beckham is a loss, Steve, in terms of football. I mean, you can say you've gained financially because you get 25 million for a player who 2 years from now would be worth nothing. So from that point of view, I think it's great business. Who wouldn't sell something that 2 years from now was worth nothing? I would. You know, you take 25 million and you reinvest it. Now, getting players to come here that are going to do as well as David did, whether it be Ronaldinho, whether it be Harry Kewell, is a tough ask. You know, for them to come, any one of the two you just mentioned, to come and do half as well as he's done is asking a bit. But somewhere along the way, someone will come, make an impact, whether it's Harry Kewell, whether it's Ronaldinho, I don't know. And then, you know, the memories of David will always be there, but they're slightly forgotten in terms of, you know, he's gone now and let's get on with the business with the new players. But that's the big problem with bringing in these new players. You hope and you pray that they're going to make an impact. We've watched Ronaldinho on the television in the Confederation Cup, and I'm sure all the United supporters were glued to the telly, making up their mind whether they thought he was the type of player that could make an impact. We know what Harry Kewell can do, but no one knows what Harry Kewell's going to do at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Talk of Liverpool, talk of Arsenal, talk of Man United. I think we'll just need to wait and see.
Okay, let's take a call, Lou. We've got Paul on the line. Paul, hello.
How you doing? How you doing, Lou?
Evening, Paul.
Lou, I just wanted to bring up the point about this Ronaldinho. How we're going to be prized out of this guy again. As soon as Man United going for somebody, it's bang, double the price. So we're going to probably fail on that now, aren't we? And secondly, I'm sick of hearing out of David Beckham, as probably most United fans are. You know, he's been a great servant for us, don't get me wrong, but it's getting a bit boring now. You know, he's had his era now, and, you know, long live the king, as it were. But, you know, we've got to get our own house intact and get these big players. But how do you think we're going to get them? Because as soon as United go in for it, going for someone, bang, double the money.
Well, that is the problem, Paul, and I don't for 1 minute think Peter Kenyon, who'll be, I would think, a tough negotiator, I don't for 1 minute think he didn't head for Paris believing that this would be the case. You know, you can agree a fee over the telephone, but the time you got on that 1 hour and 10-minute journey to Paris, the fee's doubled. You've got to expect that, and Peter would expect it. He knows what it's all about in Europe when it comes to Manchester United taking an interest, and that's why these deals take so long. Because, you know, you've set your stall out, you've probably even agreed a price, Steve.
Yeah.
And then you find, later in the day, people think, well, they're going to take them now, we'll up the ante, and they expect them still to take it. But I think they're dealing with, you know, with a tough negotiator in Peter Kenyon, and even if it takes 3 or 4 days, if he wants Ronaldinho and the club want him, they'll come back with him, and I think at the right price.
Well, because, as you say, he'll know and be putting the point home that it is a sort of depressed market at the moment.
Well, there is no market, Steve. Again, another reason why David, great value, and Paul has just hit the nail right on the head. He's done fantastic for Manchester United. Manchester United have done fantastic for him. Both parties have had great success together. And on top of that now, David's gone and got a massive pay packet. United have got a massive pay packet in a climate where there is no market. There won't be another. I mean, there won't be another 25 million transfer this season. And I've got my doubts whether there'll be another 25 million ever again. Ever again.
Really?
I've got my doubts about it because...
Do you think football has been hit that hard?
I do, yeah, I do. I mean, I know for a fact, I speak to certain people at football clubs and the managers can't bring anybody in at all. This is even in the Premiership. Apart from paying wages, they can't go out and pay a transfer fee. And that's clubs in the Premiership.
That's staggering, isn't it?
Well,
I suppose you look at the situation Leeds got themselves in.
Leeds United, Derby County, look at Sunderland. They're desperately trying to get players out the door.
Desperately want some compensation for David Bellion.
Well, they'll get that.
Anything they can get that.
Well, they will get that. That's an
sure.
automatic thing that follows on from signing a player under 24 years of age. It's just a case of how much they get for David Bellion. But clubs are, you know, they're desperate now, Stephen, and the big transfers have gone. And that's another reason why Peter Kenyon, he won't go there and pay them anywhere near 31 million.
Okay, great stuff. Paul, thanks a lot. Let's go to John. John's on the line. Hi.
Hi, Steve.
Hiya.
Hi, Luke.
John.
You just touched on it there regarding the young lad, David Bellion. Obviously, he's been bought for the future because he's a young lad and that, and the boss sees a lot into him. A lot of talks that he's going to be the next Henry. I mean, if he turns out to be an Eric Cantona, it'll be brilliant. Do you see that he'll be gelling in, Lou, as a young lad, and obviously he'll probably have to come up through the ranks in the reserves and that?
Got to be careful what I say here. I've seen quite a lot of David Bellion. And if he turns out to be another Thierry Henry, I'll strip naked on MUTV. There's a threat. No, he's an up-and-coming player who...
Well, he's not been bought for right now, has he?
No, he hasn't been bought for right now, but, you know, to ask him to go to that level of Thierry Henry that's not going to happen, Steve. I've seen enough of him. He's very, very quick.
There's obviously a raw material there that Sir Alex and the club have seen that they can work with to mould him into something, isn't there?
But I must say that 3 other managers couldn't get the best out of him. I mean, Peter Reid was there, didn't play him, and had to play people who were going to get him out of trouble. Same when Mick McCarthy came in, likewise. Had an opportunity to play him, didn't play him. In between, Howard Wilkinson and at Sunderland didn't play him. So, you know, maybe Sir Alex is the man to bring it out in him.
This is just...
very quick.
One example of his pace, slightly overrunning there as well. But as you say, this is, you know, a 20-year-old. You know, you've got to work on this, and you're looking a few years ahead, aren't you?
Well, yeah, Steve, but I remember this game, and I sort of, you know, saw him go on 2 or 3 of these runs, and I thought, well, why has he never played before? And then I think after this game, they left him out again. And this is at a time when Sunderland are bang in trouble. And as I say, David's been at Sunderland with 3 managers, and none of them have given him a run. And it's not as if he was at Manchester United. You can understand a youngster.
You think watching that, you think a player like that could maybe give Sunderland a boost. I mean, they'd take anything at
without a doubt. Well, he gave them a boost in those little clips we've seen there. Because he ran at defenders, took them on, you thought, something's going to happen here.
Yes.
But what I'm saying to you is, what I never get to grips with is why they never played him. Either of those managers. Whether he was too inconsistent and we only saw a glimpse of him, I don't know. But if there's anybody who can bring out the best in him, it's Sir Alex. But he's certainly not at this moment in time the finished article, by a long way.
OK, got an email here from Leo in Cheshire. Thank goodness the Beckham transfer is over. It seemed to drag on forever. I think David Bellion will be a big success. His pace will cause defences big problems. Obviously, anyone with pace is going to cause, you know, defensive problems. But I still think we're going to have to wait a little longer.
Oh, without a doubt. Even if you get pace, Stephen, we've seen that little clip there, he has got pace to take people on. You know, you're a youngster, you're coming to Old Trafford. You've still got to acclimatise to this environment. He's not at Sunderland anymore. You know, this is the big arena. This is now where the top players play. If he can handle that, and if he can improve his game, and under Sir Alex and the coaching staff here, he'll be given every opportunity. You know, and at the end of the day, if he doesn't make it, it certainly won't be through the fault of any of the coaching staff here. So it's a great opportunity for him. He's got a 4-year contract. He's no need to make an instant impact, and I don't think he's been bought for that either. And I certainly hope that by the time the season starts, he's not the only player having come in, because then the pressure would be on him. But I can't see it. I think I think there will be another 3 or 4 players coming in.
Right, OK. Let's go to Kenny, who's on the line. Kenny, hello.
Hi.
Hiya. Kenny, what would you like to say?
All right, Lou, Steve. Just this Ronaldinho character.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
the comments that Lou made, I totally agree with him. I mean, before the World Cup, and the goal he scored against England, nobody had ever heard of him. And he's played for Paris Saint-Germain, and he's not even a first-team player half the time. He sits in the sidelines. I'd like to get Lou's views on him.
Well, it has been difficult, and it seems that he's had a few problems behind the scenes at PSG, doesn't it?
Yeah, just before the end of the season, Steve, I remember him being quoted in saying that the manager at PSG was no good. I didn't like that, because I thought if you do come to Old Trafford, somebody better mark your card. Not to say that about the manager here. That I didn't like. You know, he was. You know, he's a player. It's all right for me to sit in here.
Well, he can think that privately, but you've got to show certain respect.
Well, he's in a position where he should be playing his football. You know, once he's finished like and you're sitting here, then you can have an opinion, and that's what you're brought on these programmes for. I didn't like that. Confederation Cup, couldn't make up my mind about him, to be honest with you. Watching him closely, and he did some good things. Couldn't really pick out a position for him either. I don't know. You know, I don't know what other people thought, but he's just one of those. I couldn't pick out a position where you say, yes, he's an outside right, he's a central midfield player.
He's made for that.
He's made for that, or he's made for a striker.
So, I mean, essentially, when we talk about these players coming in, are we looking for a replacement David Beckham, or are we looking for something different?
I think if you go looking for a replacement for David Beckham, you'll spend all summer looking for one, you won't find one. As I say earlier, what he did here, Stephen, the type of player he is, you won't find one exactly like him to come in here and do what David did season after season. So it's going out and getting players who can come here into your squad and play a part, whether it be in the Champions League or the Championship, play a part in either of those competitions to help you win them. Whether it be Ronaldinho or Harry Kewell or somebody, it doesn't really matter, because you're not going to get anyone who resembled David Beckham.
OK, we'll take a very quick break. Back with more calls and emails in just a couple of minutes.
This is unbelievable season, yeah. It's just kept rolling and rolling, and it's one that we're all going to enjoy.
You can sense the relief of finally having won that trophy.
It seems that won every possible game in the best possible way, and there's no doubt that scoring 2 in the last minute is certainly the best way to win a game.
Yeah, it's one of the best feelings in the world.
Proud of my heritage and proud of my players tonight.
See all of United's European games in full from the treble-winning season. Champions of Europe continuing tonight at 8:30.
My name's Kevin Duncan. I've been a United fan for 20 years now. It'll be tough against Hitler, but we're determined to beat them.
Living the dream. The United True Fans team. Friday at 5:30.
Welcome back to the show. Lou, we're going to take some more calls. We've got Darren on the line. Darren, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you okay?
Hi, what would you like to say?
I've got 3 small points.
Go on.
The first point is, who on earth negotiated the cheap transfer of Beckham to Madrid? Because reports coming back from Madrid today suggest they've already made £18 million. The second point is, I think we should bin the Ronaldinho deal, because I think £31 million for him is a lot of money to spend on a player where we can develop more areas within the team. And the third point is, why on earth, if we want to retain the Champions League, are we signing Sunderland reserve team players?
All right, Darren, thanks very much. Short and sweet. I mean, it's now out of our hands and nothing really to do with us what David Beckham will make for Real Madrid, because he certainly did that here for all the time he was a United player, didn't he?
You didn't sound very happy there, Darren. Is he still on the line, is he?
Darren, you still there?
Yeah, I'm not happy at all about all this, Lou, at all.
Right, let's start with the David Beckham one, Darren. You're not happy that the club sold him, what, too cheap?
right. You should have gone for 40 million and not a penny less. I would say if this deal turns out wrong, heads should roll.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about 40 million, Darren, you didn't have a cat and hell's chance of getting 40 million from Real Madrid because they're banging debt long before this deal. They've taken an opportunity with this deal and sort of splashing out everything they've got, hoping to retrieve it, which they will do. And I'm sure everyone connected with Manchester United realised that within a period of time, Real Madrid would get their money back. Maybe one of the reasons why we're seeing all the interviews on television and hyping everything up. They want to get as many people interested in trying to claw their money back as quickly as possible. So you can understand that, but I think 25 million, Darren,
already.
Darren, you can look at it another way. 2 years from now, David was worth nothing. They don't get a penny for him. Now, 2 years from now, if he was still here and walked out in the club and went somewhere and collected all the transfer himself, which he would have done, 25 million, would you then have said about the directors here, would you then have said their heads should roll because they never took 25 million?
It's not the point. The point is he's gone too cheaply. That's what my gripe is. I've got a 13-year-old lad here who is Beckham mad, and he's absolutely distraught that they've sold him.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be that kind of reaction around the world, because that's how far, you know, the name David Beckham spreads. But, you know, the reality is, Lou, this has happened. It's been going on for some time, and he's decided that it was Real Madrid for him.
Understandably, Steve, Darren's unhappy because he's a Beckham follower and his son, you know, likes David Beckham, and he's just said there, and they sold him. Now, I saw Peter Kenyon's interview on MUTV where he said he offered David Beckham a new contract. That's not selling him. And if you have to believe Peter Kenyon, and I think that's what all supporters have got to make up their mind, if you believe him, I know who I believe, because if you make a statement and you're the main man at Old Trafford, and you make a statement and you offer a player a contract, you can be quite easily shot down, because the next night, if you didn't offer that player that contract, his agent would be on MUTV, the player would be on MUTV saying Peter Kenyon was a liar. So I think we should establish that point, that Peter Kenyon said he offered David a new contract. I believe that. What followed on after that, you can make up your own mind. So they didn't actually take the view, we're going to sell him. A lot happened after that, probably, that resulted in them selling him. And I mean, I agree with Darren. If someone, you know, in the next 12 months costs 40 million somewhere, or 45 million, or 30 million, then you can turn around and say David Beckham was sold cheaply. But, you know, I'll back my judgment that you won't see another £25 million transfer, certainly this summer, and possibly ever again.
It's changed quite quickly, because Figo cost them, what, 40 million?
Yeah.
They got half of that back within 6 months with shirt sales. I mean, but that's the way it is with big clubs. You know, whoever we sign will certainly be flogging hundreds of thousands of shirts with that player's name on it. Will it be Ronaldinho? Not at 31 million, because, as you say, not in the markets forces that are driving things at the moment. That's out of anyone's price range.
Well, that's right, Steve. And Darren's final point, which was David Bellion as a sort of replacement, I think by the time the season starts, I think he won't be thinking like that.
Well, we know it's not a replacement, don't we?
No.
We know it's a wait and see.
We have other players, whether they arrive here by the first game of the season, and I'm sure every United supporter would like them to be here by then. I mean, there's the Charity Shield coming up, then there's a game at Stoke against Stoke City. People would like to see them playing in those games, but if they're not here by then, you can be rest assured, with that money in the bank, there'll be somebody here quickly after that, and they won't be relying on David Bellion to carry them through the Premiership or...
Well, he hasn't cost them anything, and it's a wait and see. It's working on that situation. Okay, Darren, thanks very much. I've got an email here from Sam. He said, I'm very surprised that nobody has mentioned a player that Sir Alex has been an admirer of for a long time. Joe Cole, how would you feel about that?
Well, if you want Joe Cole, now's the time. You know, you go in and you make West Ham an offer, and they'd probably have to accept it. But I'm not so sure that Sir Alex has got him on his list. I mean, it's the one area of the pitch where I can honestly say, Steve, I look at all the players in that area of that midfield, and I put them well in front of Joe Cole, all of them.
Okay, let's hear now. We have been mentioning David Bellion. Let's get some of his interview when he was signing for United.
Well, it's fantastic because I couldn't wait to sign and belong to Manchester United because like well, I was saying, like a dream come true when you're a kid, and I worked hard to be a professional, and now I am in Manchester United, so I'm really over the moon. But you know, just is the first impression, but I still have to learn a lot, and you know, I'm not. I don't have like a bad pressure or scared or about this. You know, I'm really happy and excited to play for Manchester.
You've obviously seen a lot of Manchester United on TV. What is it that appeals to you about them?
Appeals?
Yeah. What do you like about them?
Well, I like the way they play is the best example to play football because it's pass and all the time on the floor, everybody moves. So it's really the best example you can have, I think.
Have you managed to speak to Alex Ferguson yet, and has he told you what role you will play at Manchester United?
Well, yeah, I spoke one time with him. I saw him today, and I don't know about the play, the position. You know, well, I know that I'm attacker, and I have to speak with the gaffer. So I don't really know. I know that I will play to attack and also defend, but more to attack, I think, and. Well, I don't know. I can play in the wing, on midfield, or striker. So.
Okay, well, David Bellion there, and obviously he's accepting the fact and facing facts that you know, he's going to be a bit part player here for some time.
Oh yeah, I mean, he lacks experience, Steve. As I said earlier, the three managers he had kept him on the sidelines for most of the time. That's an indication that he lacks something. I think it was the experience, but he'll be given that opportunity here. He'll be given time to sort of get settled down at Old Trafford, and then he'll be given his opportunity. And you know, I don't think it'll be that quick. There's no need to. 4-year contract, plenty of time.
Okay, phone lines. Johnny's on the line. Johnny, hello. Hello, Johnny.
Hello, Steve.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hiya, Johnny.
Hello, Lou.
Hiya.
I like to, first of all, I like to say I played against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was 16 in Norway.
Wow, what a claim to fame.
Yeah, it's good skills.
Yes, indeed. What about yourself?
No, I quit when I was on my top, approximately 20. I know I'm 30. I quit 10 years ago.
Right.
No future for me in football, I think. So I know I'm a Man United supporter. I've been it all my life.
And how do you feel about the way things have been going on the last few weeks?
I agree on the most of it because David Beckham is going to have a contract out in 2 years, and it's a good time to sell him.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to throw another name in the hat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hear what you guys think about the Cameroon striker, Samuel Eto'o. He plays at Real Mallorca, I think, in the Primera Division.
Yeah, he scored a few goals this year, Johnny, for Real Mallorca, and
yeah, I know.
And he's done exceptionally well, and they brought him on the other night in one of the games. I think it was against France.
Yeah. Great strike.
Very quick, very tricky.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've watched him throughout the season, Johnny, and they'll had the chief scout out there, I would think, on 2 or 3 occasions to have a look at him. And if he's the one they think is going to be a possible partner for Ruud van Nistelrooy, they'll go and get him. You would certainly be able to buy him from Real Mallorca.
Yeah, I think so, because I have a possibility to see the Primera Division every Sunday, I think. And I watched a few of the games this year in Real Mallorca. And he had great skills.
Yes.
Great striker. A lot of speed and so on. So.
You'll be watching it even more now, Johnny, that David Beckham's gone there.
Yeah, I like it. And I watch your show every night.
Good.
Good to be in Norway. It's a lot of Man United supporters.
Yes, indeed there are. How have they all taken the David Beckham move?
I think it's okay, but I wonder who is going to replace him.
Yeah.
And so am I, and I hope Ronaldinho.
So are we as well.
I hope him, but 31 million pounds, a lot of money.
Just before you go, Johnny, what's happened to the Norwegian football team?
It's poor. I don't manage them anymore. I don't watch the games.
No, but they used to be good. I mean, they used to be very difficult to beat, and the last 2 or 3 years, everyone's beaten them.
Yeah. I don't know, because we have some great players who have finished, and they keep on with the same style. A lot of long balls from their own 16-yard box, and which came down with snow on, you know. And I don't like the way they're playing football. I don't fancy them anymore.
Okay, Johnny.
They have nothing to do in the European Championship. Sorry to say it, but I get a lot of supporters on my neck, but I don't fancy see them playing football. Not compared to Man United.
Absolutely. Keep the red flag flying high. Johnny, thanks very much indeed. Let's go to Diane, who's a little bit closer.